Howdy folks, how's it going? Check out this really beautiful scene on Lake Atitlan in Guatemala. First, that is Volcano San Pedro. And then panning across the mountains and the lake here, you can see people like bathing in the lake and a flock of something, ducks or birds or something out there. Pretty cool. I've been here for the past 5 or 6 days and I'm hanging out for another week or two or something, I'm not sure, we'll see. So this video is on the subject of getting triggered. What does that mean when someone gets triggered? This came to mind as a result of reading somebody's comment on a Facebook group, a woman who remarked that she was getting triggered by guys continually commenting on her appearance, on her photos or whatever, always making references to you're attractive, you're beautiful, whatever. And she was saying, I'd like to be acknowledged for something more than my appearance, my body. I'd really rather be complimented on my mind, if anything, rather than my body, because there's, more than that to me. But I actually would not necessarily call this getting triggered. This, to me, sounds like just a normal, expected response to a circumstance in which you feel whatever you feel, but feeling annoyed, frustrated, maybe a little bit angry, confused, whatever. So this is not necessarily getting triggered. What getting triggered is, to my understanding, is a emotional response that is a matter of a latent subconscious aspect of one's being brought forth in response to a certain circumstance. And oftentimes it is an overreaction of sorts, or at least it may appear to be an overreaction based on the events in the now. The reason being that that response is not based in the now. And so that's the important thing to understand. And this is a very important concept, which is that when we have some sort of a reaction to some circumstance that kind of doesn't make sense to us, that seems overblown, or that maybe you get that reflection from others, that why were you so pissed off about that? That wasn't something to get so, upset about, is that it is triggering something within us that had previously been subconscious. And this is really a super crucial concept in the realm of coming to greater self-awareness, of true healing, and coming to greater emotional clarity and balance, and all this kind of spiritual new agey type of stuff, because a great extent of our awareness is in fact subconscious. And so getting triggered is about something tapping into your subconscious self. And so this is a good thing. This is a important development. When this happens, then it is really about a aspect of your being that is otherwise asleep within you, that is subconscious, that is unconscious, that is shrouded in darkness, the shadow, aka shadow work, coming forth into your conscious awareness. And so this is an important component of integration of the soul, is this bringing forth aspects of the subconscious into the conscious awareness, and merging them and releasing them in the process, because so much of our soul is in the darkness, is subconscious, and is controlling our lives and ruling our decision making and how we interact with others, the response, the feedback that we get from other people and from life experiences in general. A lot of these experiences and reflections are a matter of the subconscious aspect of ourselves being reflected back to us. And then we can not make sense of them. Why did I have this experience? Why did I get this reaction from this person when I was, in a positive space, so I thought. And so these reflections that we get in the world around us can oftentimes be a matter of those subconscious denied aspects of ourselves that we are not aware of being reflected back to us. So, for example, you have denied anger, or you have denied fear around some particular circumstance, and you have not fully resolved that, and we all have like lots of this stuff on various levels of our consciousness. And so as a result, you are not truly whole, you are not fully present. And so your connection with the outer world then is limited, is to an extent cut off, because you are disconnected from yourself, and thus you are not connecting and relating with the world around you from a space of being truly whole and truly present. And so you are then going to get responses back that reflect that. So for example, you have denied anger and you think that it isn't there, but then you get reflections from other people that are angry in response to you, or that seem maybe like jaded or something, or that just don't make sense to you. And it can be because there is this part of yourself that is angry, and other people are actually picking up on that. So for example, somebody else who doesn't have the same level of denial around anger could be trying to interact with you, and they feel this gap in you, like this lack, like you're not fully there. And so they do something or say something that doesn't make sense to you, and it is because they're just kind of picking up on something in you that you're not really truly there, or that some circumstance that they witnessed that they felt like you didn't respond to appropriately, or maybe you were had an overreaction of anger to it, but then were unconscious about it because you have denial around your anger. And so this concept of getting triggered is actually a positive thing, but it can absolutely yield negative results when it is a matter of unconsciousness within you. So something happens and you have this overblown reaction to it because you got triggered into your denied whatever. And then people are like, whoa, what are you doing? What's going on? This doesn't make sense. They didn't mean what you thought they meant, or it was just a harmless joke, or they were just kind of pushing your buttons a little bit. Whatever, use your imagination, and then you have this overblown reaction to it. And so if you are projecting out into the world your denied stuff in response to situations in which it is not warranted, then you're going to have a negative manifestation as a result of that, because you are creating your reality unconsciously from the subconscious. Whereas if you can become more aware of these triggers and have a greater amount of self-reflection about them and about yourself and your responses and the reflections that you get out in the world, then you can, in that instance, when something arises from deep within you, then rather than projecting it onto the situation that caused it to come about, with greater self-reflection, you can understand, okay, I just got triggered here. This is not really about this present time situation. This is about the past. And so I'm going to acknowledge this, not judge myself for it, not deny it, not pretend that it didn't happen, not pretend that, no, my reaction was justified based on this set of circumstances when it wasn't, but acknowledge it, and then work with that energy, work with whatever came forth, channel that in some way, and in the process then integrate that into your being and come into a place of greater wholeness and presence of being as a result of having greater awareness and understanding of what is really happening there, and thus be able to deal with that sort of a circumstance in a different way that is more balanced and more conscious and thus yield more positive, beneficial results. All right, take care. Have a good evening.